part of a $50,000 pilot program that's being sponsored by the National Shorthand Reporters Association. The Associated Press reports that the heart of this whole system is the court reporter who will type witnesses' testimony, attorneys' interrogations, and judges' comments into a computer-linked stenographic machine. The notes can be transmitted to video display for the hearing impaired, instant transcripts for the lawyers, and of course stored for use later. Judge Colombo thinks that eventually lawyers will be able to leave the courthouse with a full transcript of the day's testimonies and will be able to use their courtroom computers to find key testimonies that might help in cross-examining witnesses. Here's an update on home banking. Online Today reports that New York's Chemical Bank has 21,000 online customers. Bank of America has 16,000. In all, there are 22 banks, thrifts, and credit unions that now have active home banking programs, with another 25 or so financial institutions running pilot programs at this time. Future Computing recently disclosed the results of an independent study of business software piracy. Based on 45,000 responses to a questionnaire, Future Computing believes there is one pirated copy of business software in use for every copy authorized by the publisher. This figure includes unauthorized copies provided by the publisher for backup, as well as unauthorized duplicates made by the purchaser. They regard this 50% rate as a conservative estimate of the level of software piracy in the PC marketplace. This survey focused exclusively on business software, such as PFS File, Lotus 123, and other accounting, database, and spreadsheet software. And the piracy cost the business software industry $1.3 billion in lost revenue between 1981 and 1984. Another interesting result of this study, copy-protected software seems to be pirated at almost the same rate as unprotected software. Apple Computer did indeed announce Apple Talk, a local area network, the Macintosh XL, basically a renamed Lisa, and a new laser printer at their stockholders meeting yesterday. These products are just part of what the company is calling the Macintosh Office and will be compatible with IBM computers. Leading software companies, including Hayes and Cytec, are working on products for Apple Talk, the low-cost network that can handle up to 32 computers and other peripheral devices. The Laser Writer printer is a high-resolution printer that allows business users to produce almost typeset quality text and almost art department graphics from their humble personal computers. And now a little bit from the bulletin board. The TRS-80 Users Group meets tonight at 7:30 in the General Chemistry Lab on the campus of the University of Laverne, located at 1950 3rd Street in Laverne. I've never heard of the University of Laverne
Is that
before.
near the sister school, Shirley?
For more information, please call Ernest Berry at 714-593-3511. That's 714-593-3511. Also, for all of you who've been calling lately and trying to respond to Michael's request late last week about writing to the Famous Computer Cafe, let me give you our address. It's the Famous Computer Cafe, 1322 2nd Street, Suite 24, Santa Monica, California, 90401. As you may recall, or if you didn't hear, Michael requested that our listeners write in and let us know that they're listening, so that we can, have some more promotions and really do a lot more great stuff for all of you, okay?
And also if you have any requests, if there are particular guests you'd like to, if you read about someone and you say, gee, I'd love to hear them on the Famous Computer Cafe or whatever, or you've got a particular brand of computer and you say, how come we never do a show on the whatever, let us know. We'd love to do it.
Yeah, for instance, we had a guy call us and ask us to do something about electronic mail, and we will be having on February 4th a gentleman from MCI talking about MCI mail. We try to be very responsive, so definitely give us your requests as well.
Okay, well, thanks, Ellen. We're going to go to the line now, and of course, on the line we've got John Dvorak, who you may see occasionally in InfoWorld writing his famous column, and also here at the Famous Computer Cafe. John, how you doing?
Pretty good, Andy. How you doing down there?
Just fine. John, I understand that Apple is really taking some great strides trying to get to the bottom of the computer market. Can you tell us about it?
Well, the bottom of the computer market, all right. They put seat cushions on all the seats at the Super Bowl game. And unfortunately for them, they didn't get credit for it over the air because apparently IBM was sponsoring the Super Bowl, and they said you can't give Apple this free publicity. But it was a big help to us who don't like sitting on wooden seats.
So is that kind of like the joke about the getting left behind or something? I don't know. Forget it.
Well, Herb Kane, a local columnist up here, said that they were actually going to be whoopee cushions, so in case one of those waves took place, you'd have like a secondary kind of an effect.
Boy, you Northern Californians, you do weird things, I'll tell you.
What do they look like?
They're just a nice little square cushion, about 1.5 by 1.5 feet. It's got the Apple logo on one side and the Super Bowl logo on the other, and they were meant to be taken home, and everybody's got one. It's a great little souvenir. Apple put the Diamond Vision screens up for the game, apparently, and then they showed their Macintosh ad at the Super Bowl, the only advertisement shown on the Diamond Vision, and they got a round of applause for it. It was a fun time for all Miami people.
Yeah, well, so what else is happening in the world of personal computers?
Well, I was in, of all places in the world, a couple days ago, I was in Cleveland, 20 below.
You poor thing.
Yeah, well, it's okay to visit, but it's not a place you want to live. I had to give a speech. I give a bunch of speeches for huge sums of money occasionally. And my classic is the new and future products talk that I like to give to corporations. And while I was there, IBM had a little exhibit at this a company called Progressive Corporation, a big insurance company. They had the PCAT there with this very elaborate, which people have talked about. I haven't had the opportunity to see it yet, but it's this kind of workstation advanced graphics card. It's a 3-card set. It's very expensive. It's like $3,000 or more. And they told me that the resolution is 640 by 480, but it's got 256 colors on a 4096 color palette. And they had a couple of files that they showed on the color monitor that, I'm not kidding, looked like a projected 35 millimeter slide. It was that fantastic.
Wow.
Astonishing piece of equipment. Unfortunately, the size of the file to make the one image, there was a still life of an orange, a lemon, a banana with some flowers and stuff. The still life file was 1/4 of a megabyte. But it was a beautiful thing. And they also had, IBM is showing that plasma display of theirs hooked to the AT.
Oh, is that the one that hangs on the wall?
Yeah, you can put it on the wall if you want to. And so they're showing that around, and that's kind of neat.
Well,
I've had that for years.
I mean, that suggests a whole new art form. I mean, we could hang these things on the wall and with still lifes in them.
Sure, why not?
You know, I mean, spend 10 grand and you've got some nice art.
Right. Well, it's actually probably cheaper than buying some of this stuff, especially from those LA artists.
Yeah, right.
I've got a tip for everybody out there. Businessmen who are looking into project management software, if you get the chance, coming up in the March issue of a magazine that you will see here and there called Business Software, they have apparently, the editor has apparently taken all these management packages, or these project management packages like Harvard Management Thing and the Microsoft Project and Super Project and all these different packages, and they did a thorough analysis. They created this large project, and they put it into all the different packages to get these Gantt charts and PERT charts, if you're familiar with that type of project management technique. And apparently, for example, all the critical paths were different from package to package.
You're kidding.
They're all different. The Gantt charts were all different. Nobody was the same. It's an unbelievable article. It's going to really shake up the project management people.
Well, you know, I used to work a lot with people at Northrop when I was selling mainframes, and we had to put together those kind of charts just to get through the maze of red tape to sell the computer.
Absolutely.
And I know the incredible complexity of all that stuff. It doesn't really surprise me that they were all different.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. One last thing. I got a call just before you called me from a tipster. I don't know how accurate this information is, but I'll pass it on as an interesting rumor.
Okay.
Apparently, Paladin software has had like some management shakeups, and one of the things, besides potentially a few layoffs and maybe some guys quitting, is that the Paladin is the company that took over VisiCorp.
Right.
And VisiCorp dropped their name for some reason, and the possibility exists that they may be changing the name to, of all things, Palacorp.
Palacorp.
I'm telling you, this is what this guy told me. I couldn't believe it.
It's look, in this day and age of the hyphenated name, who knows what can come up.
Really.
John, a real pleasure talking with you. And listen, let us know what happens. We'll be talking with you next week.
Next week.
Next Thursday.
Take care.
Adios.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, we're at the famous Computer Cafe, and we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, Mike Carbonne, and we'll talk about the world of computer furniture.
Bank Street Writer by Broderbund is the one-word processing program that is unpretentious enough to be used at home by both children and adults, yet is sophisticated enough to meet most small business needs, too. Bank Street Writer is packed with powerful features that have made it the most popular home word processing program in the world. There are no complex codes to memorize, Directions are at the top of the screen every step of the way. Bank Street Writer gives you sophisticated features like automatic word wrap, universal search and replace, automatic centering, and easy storage and retrieval of anything you write, complete with password protection. Bank Street Writer also comes complete with a special tutorial on the back of the disc that teaches the basics of word processing. A comprehensive reference manual and free backup disc are also included. Want to try your hand at Bank Street Writer? Then follow your feet down to Strictly Software at 14617 Prairie Avenue in Lawndale. Or you can call 213-970-1242. Strictly Software, a soft sell dealer.
Well, hi, we're back. We're here at the famous Computer Cafe. This is Andy Velkoff, and we're sitting with Mike Carbonne from Simonton Industries. Mike, welcome to the cafe.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay,
Pleasure to be here.
Before we get into the whole world of computer furniture, and you brought some great pictures and things where we can see about how people are putting their personal computers on specialized tables and desks and whatnot, but I want to let all of our listeners out there know, we hear after the show that lots of you folks call up and you say, you know, I wanted to call up the cafe, but I didn't think I had a good question, or, you know, I was too shy or whatever. What I want you to know is that if I can ask the questions I do, anybody can ask them, because we're all sort of learning about this thing. And so no question is too simple, and no question is there's no bad questions, okay? So if you'd like to give us a call, we'd love to hear from you, and Mike would love to answer some questions about what you can do with your personal computer. Maybe you don't have it sitting on the right kind of table. Maybe you want to think about getting some computer furniture and whatnot. And, of course, we are giving away Party Quiz today, so let me give the numbers. In Los Angeles, 628 KIEV, San Fernando Valley, 989 KIEV, Glendale Burbank, 956 KIEV, San Gabriel Valley, 443 KIEV, South Bay Area, 835 KIEV, Orange County, 714 area, 739 KIEV, West Los Angeles, 837 KIEV. And remember, our listeners are not shy. We know you guys are going to call. Okay. Mike, so tell us, I mean, this whole world of computer furniture, I mean, you know, I know people, they decide they want to get a computer, so they figure out, well, I need certain software and what I'm going to do with it, and they figure, well, I need to do maybe some word processing, or I want to play some games, and they go out and they pick out the software, and then they say, well, what kind of computer will it run? And then they get an IBM or a Commodore or an Apple or an, you know, or an Atari or whatever they get, or whatever other brand they get. Then they get it, and now what you're saying to us is we need to go one step further and look at the desk or the table we put it on and think about the furniture.
And what the user does is they'll go out and they'll buy themselves a computer. And what they'll do is they'll bring it back to their office, and they'll find out they don't have no place to put it. So they'll put it on their desk. So what we had done is we came out with a computer workstation that will house a computer plus its printer. What the computer workstation of today does is it does exactly what the typewriter return did for a typewriter long days ago.
Okay, and so what you're saying, I mean, you know, I'm looking at some of the pictures here, and I guess I'll hold them up to the microphone so our listeners can see them. That's a little joke we have here at the cafe. Anyway, but what you're saying is that these things, the typewriter return, I know in most offices there are desks with typewriter returns. And what function does that serve if you're saying that this is similar to a typewriter return? Okay,
what a computer workstation does, instead of going out and refurnishing your complete office with computer furniture, per se, systems furniture, whatever you have, what we do is we offer a computer workstation that will interface with your natural office setting. So you don't have to go out and buy a complete office setting. You know, you can just buy a piece of furniture, which is the Nelson, and it'll interface with your furniture.
Okay, you mentioned the Nelson. Now, the Nelson is the title of the model of furniture that you have. You're that's Simonton, right?
Yes, it is.
And of course, you've got the half Nelson and you've got the full Nelson. I love the names. It's great. How did you get the name? I got to ask you that.
Our advertising people come up with the name because everything else out there in the market's dot this or metrics that or something like that. So we come up with a simple name called the full Nelson. You can have the full Nelson right stack, you can have the full Nelson left stack, which the printer can exit from either side, right or left, front or back, at any given moment. So what it does for large corporations or any end user that happens to have a computer, if they move from one office setting to another office setting, this furniture will adjust to that specific office setting.
Okay, and now, some of this furniture, I mean, does this just look good or does it have a function?
Well, this is a aesthetically designed. It looks good, and plus it has a function. It's an ergonomically designed piece of furniture.
Hold on. Ergonomic. Explain what that means.
Okay, ergonomics is the study between man and machine, or for a better word, interface between man and machine. Which, if you have an easel off to the left or right of the work that you're going to be inputting in a computer, this is specifically for people that input in computers. If you have your paperwork that's off to the left or right, you're going to get eye strain because you have to focus on 3 different spots in order to input a computer. You have to focus on the paperwork that you're going to be inputting from. You have to focus on the keyboard, and you also have to focus on the monitor. So what we did is we designed a piece of furniture where everything fits is set right in front of you. So you focus on one spot, and you just move your eyes up and down from what you're inputting from, which is the paper, and your monitor and your keyboard.
Okay, so you're talking about basically reducing bodily stress by
Yep.
changing the arrangement of these things.
Right. Well, we have people going out right now. They go to a doctor. They think they have a problem with their eyes. They don't have a problem with their eyes. Is that they're inputting in a computer 6 or 7 hours a day, and they're getting eye strain. They're getting muscle spasm in the back of their neck. They're getting shoulder spasms. Their fingers get cramped up because the keyboards are on their desks. What we did is we designed a piece of furniture where the keyboard's at proper height, which is 25, 26 inches. The monitor's right at eye level, and all the work that you're going to be inputting is right in front of you, like I said before.
Well, you talk about keyboards now. So what you're saying is that most desks are too high for a keyboard?
Well, the desk height is not proper for data entry.
Okay.
Because what you have to do is your palms of your hands have to be up in the air, and you have to hold your arms up. Our computer workstation, or a lot of computer workstations are out there, your data entry position is that your arm should be at an L-shaped position.
So for most people, so what you're saying is that most people probably have their keyboards too high.
Well, yeah. When I go into an office, what I'll do is I'll see secretaries or executives. What they'll do is they'll have the keyboards on their lap, or they'll have a drawer pulled out, and they'll have the keyboard on a drawer because it's more comfortable to input that way in that height.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Okay, well, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, I'd like to get into some of the other issues. I know there's some interesting issues with ergonomic, I love that word, legislation, and what's happening in the whole world of industry for people and posture and their bodily comfort and bodily stress and all that stuff. We're here at the famous Computer Cafe talking with Mike Carbonne from Simonton Industries. This is Andy Velkoff. We'll be right back after this.
SuperCalc 3 by Sourcem is a spreadsheet that's extremely easy to use, swift, and powerful, and it's priced lower than most other leading spreadsheet programs. SuperCalc 3 has all the built-in functions expected in a high-quality spreadsheet, and a lot more. SuperCalc 3's features include an on-screen help function, spreadsheet consolidation and sorting capabilities, calendar and date calculations, simple data management, functions, and windowing. The integrated graphics capability is superbly presented, allowing plotting and printing of charts in up to 99 colors. SuperCalc 3 provides you with the ability to create pie charts, bar charts, line charts, and XY graphs. The graphics are integrated into the command structure, so once you learn SuperCalc 3, plotting and graphing the results of your calculations is as easy as pie. To get a taste of the simplicity and power of SuperCalc 3, walk into Simply Software, where they'd love to whip up a quick demonstration. Simply Software is located at 3001 Sepulveda Boulevard in Manhattan Beach, or call 213-546-2467. That's 213-546-2467. Simply Software, a soft sell dealer.
The sounds of Billy Joel. Hi, we're back. We're here at the famous Computer Cafe. This is Andy Velkoff, and we're talking with Mike Carbonne from Simonton Industries, and we're talking about computer furniture. During the break, you were mentioning something about ergonomic legislation. Tell me about that.
Okay, what I'm understanding that there's legislation in the state right now that says that everybody that inputs in a computer has to be at an ergonomic workstation because they're having so much problem with the eye strain and the neck strain and things like that. I don't know if it's going to pass or not. It probably won't, but if there is legislation there, because they are having a lot of problems with that.
Now, I've read on the news here at the famous Computer Cafe things that have to do with the actual video display terminal, but it sounds like from talking to you and from reading a little bit more about it, it's really the placement of the terminal more than it is any emanations coming from the screen. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. There's a glare factor that's involved. There's a lot of things that are involved. We do also have a monitor cover that covers a monitor that cuts down on the glare quite considerably.
Does that create headaches and that sort of thing?
Glare would create headaches.
What other kind of symptoms do people come up with from not having well-placed?
They get tennis neck. If you watch if you watch a
computer neck?
Yeah,
Computer neck.
You can call it what you want. But anyways,
neck.
they have like if you watch a tennis court, tennis match, for a couple of hours, you get a neck strain if you're used to it. If you keep on looking at a piece of paper for 6 hours a day and moving your head back and forth, you get neck strain.
I get that when I go to the beach. So that's another story. Anyway,
I get that
you're
too.
Single.
When you hit the waves and you hit the beach with your head, it creates a problem. Then
no, it's usually when I'm out on the sand, just sort of looking around.
Watching the women.
That's right. So really, what you're saying is, I mean, this is like I remember my mom saying, "Stand up straight, watch your posture." What you're saying to us is that we have to look at our posture when we're working at these machines, because it really can have an effect on our stress and our.
Right. The placement of your body and the point of data entry is very important to your health.
Now, this is more for, wouldn't you say that these concerns are more for people that work at their computer 8 hours a day than for somebody who might use it on a casual basis?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
6 hours a day is usually a limit on anybody that inputs in a computer. Most computer people that input are there maybe 10 or 20% of their working day, unless you are a data entry person.
Right. But then those of us who get addicted to computers sometimes and spend, till 4 a.m. playing games on our computers have to be concerned about this sort of thing too, right? I mean, I can sit down for 6 hours easy at a computer if I get involved in a good game of Zork or something.
Millionaire, right?
Or millionaire, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the home buyer should have all computer workstations too. Because it's mobile. If you want to move it around, you can move it around. You move from room to room if you want to. If somebody is playing on a TV and they don't want to interrupt somebody that wants to listen to radio, they can move into another room.
So now, are these available? Can somebody go to a dealer and buy these things?
Yes, we have several dealers in the Southern California area.
And so they can go in and try them out and
definitely they have them on
all
display and.
What's the price range of something like this?
Well, our laminates start at $640.
Okay.
That's for the full Nelson. And then we have our real wood veneers for executive offices or nice homes that have real wood veneers in their homes, which start at walnut, which is $785, and we have a real wood veneer oaks, which is light oak and medium oak, which are $685.
So this is what to get for the computer that has everything.
Right. the computer and the person that has everything also. Let me ask you, in terms of noise, is that something we need to be concerned about? Computer noise?
Yes. Now, computer noise is the computer isn't very noisy. The Nelson does quiet things down, and if you push the PC unit itself inside the cabinet, it quiets down because it is a wood cabinet, and it does muffle the sound some.
What about the noise of the printer, that sort of thing?
The printer, if you have a dot matrix printer, you're really not concerned with the noise. If you have a letter quality print, impact printer, or something like that, a noise sound cover you should have that.
Okay, great. Well, Mike, this has been a real pleasure. The time flies by as always here at the cafe, and keep us posted about stuff like that, and we'd like to keep posted on that legislation and see what happens with that. Okay.
Right.
Mike Carbonne from Simonton Industries. Thanks for joining us here at the famous Computer Cafe.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll just sort of wrap things up.
Start with the world's best-selling database system. Give it enhanced features to make it faster, more powerful, and easier to use, and you have the makings of a software heavyweight. DBase 3, Ashton Tate's hot new package for your 16-bit PC. With DBase 3, you can create records with up to 128 fields access 10 files at once, and run other programs like communications or word processing without leaving DBase 3. You can read non-DBase files from other software programs or mainframe databases. And you can easily convert your DBase 2 files and programs to DBase 3. If you get stuck, help is at your fingertips with multiple help screens. And where do you go to see this powerful new program? Go see David and Betty Sun at Sun Computers in the city of Carson. They'll tell you what you need to know about DBase 3 and more. Sun Computers is located at 20925 South Bonita in Carson. Or call 213-538-8338. That's 213-538-8338. Sun Computers in Carson, a soft cell dealer.
Ah, yes, another half an hour at the famous Computer Cafe gone. We want to thank Mike Carbonne for joining us. Ellen, who's going to be on the show tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Terry Thormodesgaard. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right all week. He'll tell me anyway. And Valerie Miller. They're from the Thor Agency. And we're going to talk about jobs in the personal computer business. Not only full-time jobs, but temporary jobs as well. And just what the job market looks like for those of you who want to either do programming or data entry or start word processing, that kind of thing. There's a whole vista out there of lots of jobs. So we'll talk about that.
We're also going to be hearing from Angela Bloom, who is the West Coast editor of Computer Software News. She'll be talking about the Apple stockholders meeting this week. So join us tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Radio KIEV Glendale, the talk of the town.